Hello and welcome to the OverShadow ShadowCast. I'm your hostess Abigail and your other host Tommy Anderson.
Hello.
You sounded like something out of Watch with Mother with that, like one of the flower pot men.
My volume's okay. No, too high. Oh, jeez, it's ridiculous. My volumes are always all over the place.
They're fine.
Are you sure? Because on my end, it's okay. I'm going to lean back here, and I'm going to try not to move at all because it just causes an unbelievable amount of creaking and popping noises. It's just my microphone.
That's just your
hates
body,
me.
because you're an old man.
Manner than you.
All I heard was manner than you. I didn't know what does that mean.
I can't say that I'm younger than you because I'm not, so I'm manner than you.
No, I feel old.
That's because you are.
On my course. Oh, thank you very much. I feel old because everybody's about 10 years younger than me, apart from 3 individuals who are older than myself. One's 4 years older. The other one's almost 10 years older, roughly 10 years older. The other one's 13 years older.
So they're in their 70s?
Oh, go away! I'm 29 and a half. I'm almost 30. Life is slowly slipping by and I'm getting scared.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have a midlife crisis next year. That's what my party theme. That's what my 30th birthday is going to be themed. Midlife crisis.
No, I'm
tattoo stations everywhere.
I heavily promote the idea of having a midlife crisis. They're a lot of fun.
Have you had a midlife crisis?
Yeah, several. But it's not like I'm married with kids and I'm buying a sports car. I'm just, hunkered in the corner.
Old sad man.
Just getting old. Trying to read a book that's not there. I'm losing my eyesight. I can't even see the book. You're not holding a book. Ah!
I'm getting to the stage now where I said the other day in class, I've lost my brain.
I think that means you're pregnant.
No, that just means that I'm so stressed out that I've lost all consciousness. I've got no idea what's going on in my head. Do you have any idea what's going on in my head?
That's not.
I sure as heck don't.
That's not new for you. That's not a change.
It's gotten worse. So much worse. People laugh at me when I say water.
No wonder. Water. Would you like some water?
Well, you and I sat down for a quick, fast minute the other day, and we played a Halo Customs match.
No, we didn't play a customs match. I wasn't checking your passport.
Customs game?
It's a custom match.
I added an S on. One letter.
It's custom because we customized it. So it's custom.
One letter. And you nitpicked on the letter.
Of course. Of course. What do you expect me to do?
Be a friend and understand what I meant. For once in my life.
No. Continue.
How long have I known you for?
Too long. What have you been playing?
We played Halo.
Oh yeah, sorry. What were you saying about Halo?
We played a custom match. And it was snipers. And you thrashed me.
On what?
I can't remember.
It was the Halo 2 Anniversary version of Blood Gulch. No.
Ah, right.
Was it Blood Gulch? No, it wasn't Blood Gulch.
So yes, and you thrashed me. There is no other way to say it other than I got my little backside handed to me.
Little.
Just let me have that. Just let me have that, please. Please.
It's called Bloodline.
Well, we played that, and we had sniper. So basically, I lived in fear the entire time because I knew you'd be able to find me easier than I could find you, and I was proved ultimately right. But there was I did get a few kills. I got like 4 kills to your many. What did you think of it?
How many kills do you think you got?
I got 4.
No, you got 3.
Well, my evening's ruined. I'm gonna go away and cry.
8-3.
Yes.
I went 4-0 at the start.
How is it that you are able to find me so easily?
Oh, you post up.
What does that mean?
You stay hidden. So
So
there's only
does
a
that
few
mean it's
places.
easier?
There's only a few places in coagulation you can hide, really. So it kind of narrows down where I'm looking. And if you don't move between them, then I know you're in one of them. And if you don't move, then I can just go and look for you.
So is the thing you're telling me I need to do is keep moving?
The issue is you'll find I'll shoot you even then because I'll be able to see you. What you're not taking
How
into
do you do it?
account, what you're not taking into account is that you think I'm finding you quickly, but I'm not. I think there was once when I spawned in right next to where you were, and we both saw each other and then opened fire. But most of the time, yeah, I think most of the time I don't actually find you that quickly.
I'm not all that bright.
No, what I'm saying is that I think that that your tactics of hiding a lot makes sense. It works. You're just deciding that you're getting seen very quickly for some reason when you're not. And I think the reason that you're saying that is because you very seldom find me.
Yeah, I never find you.
No, you do. I think you found me twice.
I don't know. But you said that I move very quickly after I kill
Hmm.
you.
Yeah, once you take a shot, you relocate, and that's the right thing to do. Because once you shoot,
You also said I'm too predictable though.
you're better with a sniper than a pistol, which means that you try to use a sniper when you shouldn't. So I know that if
When
I
I'm
charge you, you're not going to handle it particularly well.
Yeah, when I'm like a foot in front of you,
I
I still
also,
try to use the sniper.
yeah, I also think that you don't necessarily try to think too far outside of the box for hidey areas, and you do need a bit more time to actually get a headshot, which is why you didn't. I think you killed me with one headshot, and that was because I was standing stationary in the open.
Yeah.
The other two shots were you had to take two shots, so you're not able to get a snap headshot, is what I'm saying, and that obviously holds you back.
Yeah, when I can't get a one headshot if I freak out because I think you're going to kill me.
But even at range, you still need two. It's only when you have an awful lot of extra time that you're able to actually get that one shot kill. If I'm stationary and you've got ages, but
Yeah.
but if we're looking at quickly getting a bead before I move into cover, it takes you a bit too long. Whereas I was able to instantaneously um, get a headshot. In fact, I got 5 headshot kills and 3 melee attack kills.
Yeah, you but
So
I
even
need to
when
keep
using the
remembering that
pistol,
you are far more advanced in your skill set with this game than I am, and I keep forgetting that.
what do you mean?
Like you're able to keep calm and all this kind of stuff, whereas I just panic.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And you also know how sorry.
I was just going to say that I didn't develop that ability until about 5 years ago. I played like the first 15 years of Halo panicking all the time, but I was, you know, that's why I was never very good with a sniper for a very long time.
Hmm. I don't know what fears me more, the large maps or the small
What
ones.
fears you more?
Yes,
I'll
what
tell you what.
fears me more,
I'll,
the big maps or the little
I'll
maps?
tell you what it is. It's the self-recrimination.
What does that mean?
When you get a good shot and then you don't kill the person, you beat yourself up about it.
Yeah.
I did that all the time until you've just got to realise that you can win or you can get kills. So you need to accept, like, bang, didn't shoot. What did I do wrong? This is what I did wrong. I'll do that better next time. Move on. Has there ever been a game when you didn't get a single kill?
No.
So there you go.
Actually, probably right at the very, very, very
If there was, it was
beginning.
so very beginning-esque that I don't even remember it, so that's probably fine.
I just want to know when I'm going to be good enough to play with all your mates.
Well, technically you could pick a quick controller now, but...
Because I'm getting worse, because I've not played it for a very long time, so I feel like I'm getting progressively worse.
That's the point. You do need to play it consistently for a certain amount of time before you can take a break and still be as good. Well, we need to play through all the games on Legendary.
I know, but taking forever.
You,
It's my issue is it's all me. I'm the one that's holding it up because I'm got college work and things like that, and I just genuinely don't find the time. Yes, I don't stay in the house all the time, and I go out, but I go out to do research. I don't
yeah,
go out for a laugh.
it's
For
exercise or
example,
research or other commitments. So I
I don't
think,
even really
yeah.
I've not been to the gym in over a week.
Oh, ridiculous. But yeah, we just need to find a way to. We do need to look at it a little bit more as a learning curve. So if you are doing
Yeah.
something wrong, we need to specifically work on it, and not just say you need to work on it. We need to find a way to help you work on it. I think a good thing would be to, with the exception of certain circumstances, say for example Mission 3 in Halo, when it's basically a sniper mission, you'll need to take the difficult shots.
Yeah. I've also noticed you've taken off all the grenades and the sticky bomb.
No.
Sticky grenades.
Yeah, you could have just said grenades.
Oh, what's the other one?
A frag grenade.
Oh.
That's why you keep
Okay.
saying bomb.
Right. Okay, well the alien grenade and the human grenade.
Yeah. Because you use them and you're not particularly good with them, but you will get occasional kills, and I needed you to focus.
I'm okay with the sticky grenade.
Yeah, because you lob a grenade straight at someone like you're throwing the hammer at their head, but
Only
you have a
when
habit of
I
doing
know
it
I'm
with a
gonna
fragment
die.
grenade. But when you use the fragmentation grenade, you do the same thing and it just soars over their head.
Because I keep getting confused. I keep thinking it's just gonna land. I keep forgetting it's gonna bounce. How long have we been playing Halo for?
Oh,
About
25 years.
2-3 years, and I keep forgetting that.
The ricochet is the key. There's even times when it can be helpful to throw it over their head so it hits a wall that's behind them and then drops into the group.
I know.
That's the advantage of the human grenade, is that you can bounce it.
I think it's like the worst grenade.
Well, it is, but the advantage is you can bounce it. Yeah, we just need to come up with proper plans, and we need to get you using weapons you don't normally use. I think you're fine with the assault rifle, so we'll need to have you not use that anymore.
Pistols, I'm not good with.
All the alien weapons in Halo 1.
Yeah, they are evil. They are pure evil. They do not like me. I wish them bye-bye.
Well, we'll just have to not do that. And you're okay with snipers, but we'll need to work on your speed.
Like shooting speed.
Yes, target acquisition.
I don't understand how you are able to jump and take a shot. That is pure magic. Like you do the bouncy thing.
The thing is that if you do it often enough, what happens is you know exactly how much altitude you gain from jumping. So what you do is you aim at the ground, that altitude difference. So when I jump, I've already deliberately aimed lower than I need to. So that when I jump, I pull the trigger when the reticule goes up to your head.
Oh, okay, so you're already compensating for that.
You start the compensation
space
early and it speeds it up.
Oh, I'll try that next time. And still die.
Yeah, you will. It'll take ages for you to get that, but it's worth trying. Work on your no-scope, because I think only once did you actually hit me when you no-scoped.
Oh, I don't know how to no-scope with the sniper. I'm very bad.
You also need to work on all of your close quarters combat, because you hit me first with the sniper, took my shields off, and I was still able to kill you.
I panic. I can't help it. I am a panicky person.
You need to remember that
So sue me.
There's 0 point to pulling the trigger if you're not aiming it at the other guy.
I aim it at your face.
But you're nowhere near hitting my face, so you're not aiming at my face.
Your face does not like me.
Well, I'm in control of my face.
I don't know what that was. I honestly don't know what that was.
You need.
This is offending to me.
Anyway, we need to practice you. We need you to practice with the rocket launcher, shotgun, alien weapons, a little bit with the sniper, but not too much. Pistol, everything but the assault rifle, basically. I think the shotgun's pretty good, but we need to make sure. Because the thing with the shotgun is judging the distance.
And my problem is that if I go to shoot, like close range, my automatic reaction is then to melee.
Well, you can do that. You can pull the trigger first with the shotgun and then melee.
Is it melee or melee?
Melee, apparently.
Melee. Melee.
So if you pull the trigger and take the shields off and then
And you
melee
Disney
attack,
princess.
even if they're still alive because of the type of enemy that it is, you can then pull the trigger again.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll just work on that. We'll be specific about it, deliberate about it. What else have you been playing?
That is it.
Okay, so it's on to me. Apart from the Halo that we played, I played some... I started a game. I'm not going to talk about it.
I started a game. I'm not going to talk about it. It is up to you to decide what I played.
And I played a little bit more of the Star Wars and the Rome Total War. I'm just trundling along in Star Wars, but I have hit the sort of like, you know how I said I was at war with like 70-75% of the world now?
Yes.
I had hit that point where I had a few turns there where there were like 8 enemy armies coming after one army. I think it was about 3 or 4. So I had to fight them into a city to take the city to then use the city to defend the army.
I will take your city and I will throw it in your face. Good day, sir!
Exactly. That's exactly what I did.
Aha!
And it was really... Yeah. I also built an army and then forgot about it, so built another army. And so I went to go and move the brand new army I'd built, and there was 2 of them. Okay.
What is going on here? Yeah. This is witchcraft.
So this should speed up. That should speed up my ability to invade the world. But it was a few turns there where it was just I had to be good at defense and attack. I had to just be good. I had to be good in battle to fight the sheer number of forces. But I've broken the backs of 2 or 3 of the enemy nations.
Yeah.
Because their cities are all garrison army only. Because I defeated all their standing armies.
Nice.
And I also played some Divinity with my brother.
How are you getting on with that? How's he enjoying it? Is he still enjoying it?
Yeah, we did some fights and it went very, very well.
You don't sound impressed.
I came up with an amazing plan and the game wouldn't let me use it. And I was very upset.
Why? Why wouldn't it let you use a plan? Does it not like you? Is it not your friend anymore?
Basically, you stand on a switch to lower a wall and you walk through. And you leave one person on the switch and the other person walks through and pulls the lever so that the wall that slides open stays open.
Yeah.
Well, we did that. And I thought, right, well, when the enemy appeared after I pulled the lever, what we'll do is I'll pull the lever again. We'll run through. You step off the wall. And the wall will, the switch, and the wall will go up. And then we can let them in when we want to fight them. Do you understand what I said?
Just say it one more time, sorry.
So there's a wall in the way, right?
Yeah.
And you stand on a switch, it opens the wall. And then you go through, and there's a lever that you can pull that keeps the wall down.
Okay.
So I thought, and then the enemy appears to attack you. So I thought, well, what we could do here is I could pull this lever to reactivate the wall. I can run my guys back, and whoever's on the switch just steps off it, and the wall goes back up.
So it's like protection.
Yeah, and then we can control how many come through at once.
Yeah.
But the game keeps the wall down permanently once you've pulled the lever once.
Oh, that's annoying.
So we wasted like 3 turns setting this up, and we're like, hee, pull the lever, nothing happens. Oh, we pulled the lever, so we already pulled the lever, so we stepped off the switch, nothing happens.
It has vested you.
But we ended up in an area. We'd spent like half an hour doing inventory management, selling stuff we don't need, putting stuff into storage to clear space.
Yeah.
My brother moved his wizards from using heavy armor to robes because we finally found robes that are as good as the maximum heavy armor he can wear because he's got very low strength.
Mm-hmm.
The heavy armor needs strength, the light armor needs dexterity, and the robes need intelligence. So when we started
that makes sense.
When we started out, he was wearing heavy armor to cover for his low constitution and the fact that his wizards weren't moving around very much. But because my melee guys have to run up to the enemy, I put them in robes.
Why?
Because robes in the game are light armor, so they increase your ability to move. Heavy armor reduces your movement.
But surely...
It's like 2 meters for every 1 AP, right? And in heavy armour that gets reduced by 0.5, and in light armour it gets increased by like 0.35, I think it was.
In what world are robes light armour?
Well, they're very light. And if
a sword comes to you, you die. You,
Well,
you
that's
pointy,
not
pointy
true. A
die.
lot of armour that men used to wear was made of fabric.
Yeah, it was like leather and things like this.
Well, that was the sort of medium light armor, but in this the light armor is probably wrong. It's probably heavy armor, light armor, and then cloth armor or robes. But you can get protection from cloth if it's thick enough. It's not going to stop a charging rhino, but it's, if you get hit with a hammer, it'll do some padding.
Yeah, I still wouldn't count my black. I still wouldn't. Can't think of the word.
Modern day ballistic armor is probably closer to leather armor than the old metal stuff.
I'm not talking about like. I wouldn't be counting my blessings if a sword ran at me if I was wearing cloth. I'd be dead.
No, I agree, but the armor was particularly good. The stuff that we found, it was very good cloth armor.
I also need to keep remembering that this is a make-believe game.
Well, yeah, the point is that you could weave magic into it as opposed to make it more resistant.
Yeah.
There's also some natural cloths that are extremely powerful, resistant stuff.
I need to look this up.
And remember that swords, medieval swords, and stuff like that, they weren't really used. They say you couldn't just take any old sword and bisect a man. That's not really what happened. They weren't quite as sharp as that, so that's not really what you were playing with there.
I remember when you and I went to a museum and we saw was it a claymore? A double-headed claymore?
A double-headed claymore?
Not handed.
Yeah, sorry.
That looked terrifying, but it did look blunt.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're not allowed to store them sharp, but they wouldn't have been sharp because a claymore was supposed to be used by holding the blade. So it would have been, yeah, you hold the blade of a claymore. It's double-hilted.
Hold the blade?
Uh-huh.
Why?
So you can use it as a lance. Put it this way, see if you're holding a broadsword, right? With two hands.
Yes.
You have to, like this, not one on top of the other, but next to each other, right? Like more like a katana, but closer together, right there.
Like a lightsaber.
Yes, and you're trying to move your hands around, right? To swivel it from one side to the other. That can only go so fast.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you're holding the blade and a massive handle, what you've created is a pivot point. So you're not sweeping the whole blade across. You're just sliding the blade essentially, sort of almost like spinning the blade in your hand. You see?
Like that?
Yeah. So instead of holding it and moving the whole blade across, you just pivot the blade. And
basically, it's just like a weed whacker. You go through the armies like a weed whacker.
Well, no. Basically, what happens is claymores actually move faster in battle because you pivot it around your holding hand. So in a straight sword fight,
much?
That's a very general question. In a straight sword fight,
I mean, sorry, just how much? Why do you know so much about the claymore?
I've held one, full size one, when I was 7 or 8. It's very, very easy to do. It's a lot lighter than you think it is.
Sorry, I kept interrupting you there.
A standard claymore is like £5. Metal is not as heavy as we think it is, especially not metal used back then.
I would think it would be very heavy.
Well, it's very thin, isn't it?
I know, but I still think it would be very heavy.
Yeah. Well, it is very, very heavy, but it's very heavy in terms of physics, not in actual mass, because of its length. If you try and hold it out in any way, it pulls itself to the ground. And so you torsioning against that is what causes the weight. If you're holding it straight up, it just balances straight down. And it's heavy, but even a child can hold one.
Okay.
There's also the fact that melee combat in the Middle Ages was not it was basically two people kissing each other and pushing with their swords. It was more of a wrestling match with a sword in it.
I know, it's a bit odd, isn't it?
So you would basically, with a claymore, you could block, or you could even disarm reasonably easily because the thing worked so quickly. But you could then melee attack with the pommel. You could hook the primary hilt around the neck and pull the person to the ground using the secondary hilt.
Yeah.
And then stab them. Medieval armour was also a lot more powerful than we give it credit for. Armour worked because you couldn't stab the person inside, whereas in movies you run up and just go, pfft. So what's the point in them wearing that then?
Yeah.
Might as well be made of tinfoil.
Tinfoil knight.
The thing as well is that a claymore could be used quite happily to take down a horse.
Yeah, that does look like it would end a horse quite easily.
Because if a horse charges onto a claymore, you can almost just hold it till the horse hits and then let go, and then it will just drive it into the ground and the horse is stuck. And normally if there was a claymore involved, the person was smart enough to bring a secondary weapon. Could you imagine if you had 100 men just march up and just lob really sharp claymores scything through the air into an enemy force of like unarmoured archers?
Just a weed whacker army. That's what it would be.
No, it's not a weed whacker. We don't live in America.
Oh, for goodness sake! What's it called then? Not even no.
It is. It's called a strimmer.
No, I was just thinking if that is what I'm talking about.
It is.
Very well. Anyway, as you were saying, you and your brother progressed through the game.
So yeah, he ended up, because his intelligence, he had a strength of 5. There's no point in him putting into strength for wizards. He's putting it into intelligence. That's a much more useful attribute. So he hit the point where the robes were better armour than the heavy. So he switched now. And I hit the point a little while ago where the heavy armour for my strength was better. The one issue is the fact that my guy is the tank. So you have to put points into constitution, and there's no constitution based armour. So I'm having to put points into strength, which is for attacking and carrying things, but I'm wanting to put them into constitution to increase my guy's health, because the whole point of my guy taunting everyone and running around with a shield is to get everybody to attack him.
Yeah.
In fact, my guy can now reflect 30% of incoming damage as water damage or piercing damage, something like that. So if somebody walks up to him and hits them, they take 30% damage of what they dished out. If it's a melee attack.
Nice.
So the whole point of him is to just draw in as much melee fire as possible, as much attack as possible. And then he just sits there and absorbs it all while Medora we were in a fight. We got through to an area where we were fighting snow monsters. Right? So like ice wolves, ice elementals.
Abominable snowmen.
There was actually, we're in a current fight at the minute where we've saved it, where we're trying to protect an earth elemental from the attack of 3 snowmen.
Ooh.
And there's a good pair of gauntlets, bracers behind him, this earth elemental, in a chest hopefully that'll still be there, because we experimented a bit to see what would happen before we loaded it back up, and there's a good couple of bracers that increase piercing damage reflection to 20%.
Oh, so you get Wonder Woman's bulletproof braces, whatever they're called.
Bracers. So we're hoping that I can get those, because the whole point is my guy draws in all the fire. But Medora has this 2-handed sort of like spear that has a huge range on it, because she uses 2-handed weapons to increase her damage, right? That's what she's for.
Yeah.
And it has fire damage as well inbuilt. So she struck a guy and did 450 points of damage out of health that was like 800 or something like that. So she took half its health off in one hit. She just went...
That is impressive.
Whereas my guy hits and does 30. Because he's just... The reason he has his weapon is that it has a chance to knock the enemy over, so they miss a turn. And it also increases shield specialisation and strength.
Yeah.
So he's deliberately limited in attack to make his defense better, but we need to try and look into how to make his taunt more effective, because it doesn't always work. And the whole point of him is to get as much attack in his direction as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also,
that makes sense because he's got taunt.
Yeah, it also means that I'm focusing my guy on his ability to knock people over, because like I said, Medora does an extra 50% damage with bully. So she would have done...
I love that idea, just knocking, just like push.
Yeah. It summons a huge elemental fist that punches them into the ground.
Yeah, I get that, but in my head, when you say not like push over, it's like just like tap and
his weapon is called Clobbering Time.
Oh, that sounds very familiar.
It's a staff that just goes bop. He just bops them on the head. So I like to think that when he does this, he just runs up to them and goes boop, and then runs back to where he was, and they go ah. And she would do over 600 to 700 points of damage if she was to attack from behind with her spear while they were on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge amount of damage, and so that's what she's there for. But we also have light armor and bows and stuff and single-handed weapons that none of us use because they're for the dexterity-based characters.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be melee, like the way they do the characters seems to be they give you a magic ranged dex-based melee and a strength-based melee, and then you fit your characters into that and you use them as you see fit. And we found no use whatsoever for the dex-based two characters that we were given, the ranged unit and the two-handed weapon like rogue.
Mm-hmm.
So we've never used them. Since we got the two characters we have at the minute, we've never used them. So we keep items for them in case we have to for some reason. But there's also the fact that they're still technically level 3 and we're level 12. So we don't know whether or not they got experience, because it would be a bit ridiculous if they got experience. But my guy didn't, because he was unconscious in fights. But they got experience even though they weren't anywhere near the fight at all.
That would be weird.
But it would mean that you would be in a situation where you couldn't bring you had to pick your characters like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you tried to swap them in and out, they would end up so far behind they would never catch up. So I don't know how the game works it. To me, it doesn't make any sense. There must be some point where they reset that and give you the experience that you're missing. Otherwise, you'd fall far too far behind. But we've got those things in our inventory. It's just one of the big things we'd say about the game is it's a lot of fun, and we've really got into it now, and we're really handling it. And when one of our characters does a huge amount of damage, it's actually quite fun. The issue that we do have is the inventory management is just really bad in this game. It's really bad. It's clearly been dropping stuff. No, we're not that bad. It's not the amount you can carry, it's the management of what you're carrying. It's clearly been. How do you mean? It's been ported, I think, from a computer, from PC game to the Xbox, and it just doesn't seem to work as well. Like, we don't even know what the individual. So when you go into the inventory to see what you've got, there's like 7 markers at the top that delineate everything into different groupings, and we've worked out what they are, but there's no name. It's just a symbol, and I think it's supposed to give you a name, but it doesn't. So we have to say to each other, where is it in the inventory? Well, it's the third icon at the top, like it should say crafting or something like that.
Yeah,
or potions or something, but it doesn't. It's just randomly split them up, and we have to figure out what it is. So we keep.
That's not good.
If something gets added to the inventory, we have to go scrolling through everything to find it. And when you're going through like your equipment, it doesn't put all the like items together. So it should have all the chess pieces together that are heavy, then medium, then light, then all that sort of stuff, so you can have a look and see what it is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. So you're left sitting there going, I have absolutely no idea what's happening here. 2 got really good reviews, so they must have fixed that, because it's just unnecessarily tedious.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's tedious. They need to have fixed this by the second one, because I can't see a game with this bad inventory system that so heavily relies on its inventory getting good reviews while it's this bad. So they must have fixed it. I mean, even when we go and try and sell equipment or get it repaired, you can press RB to swap from buy to sell to barter to repair to all that sort of buy back, and it's supposed to slide along. So because those are labelled at the top, and it's supposed to slide between them, right?
Yeah.
Like move them round like a compass ratcheting around, right? But it doesn't. So you press RB, or you just sort of slowly move until you're off screen. So I think it gets to barter, and then when you move to repair, you can't see which one you're in anymore. You have to tell from context, because the bit at the top is supposed to slide along to keep the one you're in the middle. But it doesn't. So there's nothing on the left, and then it just disappears off screen on the right.
Makes no sense.
But, we're that sort of thing was really annoying. The pacing was really annoying, but we've got into it now, because that there we did 4 fights and a lot of inventory management in 2 hours. 2.5 hours, and that's a lot better. It's a lot faster. So, and we didn't have to reload any of the fights, so it was better.
That's good.
It starts to ramp up. The beginning of the game is just really tedious, but once you start to understand how it works, it gets better. And also the leveling up, all of our guys now have more options and are more powerful. So if you've got somebody who just, for example, an enemy that can't take melee damage, they just don't take any melee damage, we can use other attacks to knock them down or stun them, or we're strong enough now that we can just march 2 guys and pen them in while the wizards attack. There's stuff like that. We've got options, and that makes the game easy, a little bit more fun, but also a little bit more enjoyable and faster.
Cool. Is there any stories you wish to discuss today?
Yes.
What are they?
There's another... You've heard of Skyrim, yes?
Yes.
Sorry.
For my brain went blank there. Yes, we have played Skyrim, have we not? No, we have played Elder Scrolls Online.
Yes.
We have not played Skyrim.
Elder Scrolls
I do know
Online.
what Skyrim is.
Elder Scrolls Online, for as much fun as I've had with it, is the worst Elder Scrolls game. Just because of the nature that it's an MMO and they don't work the same way. Just like the Old Republic is not as good as KOTOR 1 or 2. It's just the way they work.
But I do know what Skyrim is.
Came out in 2011. And there was a remaster, I think, released in 2016 for the next generation of consoles. A special edition that was released on a 5-year anniversary. I'm trying to think here, sorry. Did they port that game? Was it backwards compatible for a while and then they released an Xbox One version? I think so.
I can't remember, I'm afraid.
So on Steam, I own both. I also have access to them because of Game Pass. I think. Are they on Game Pass?
Bring it back to me now.
Sorry. I had my own brain fart there. Yes, Microsoft Game Studios bought Bethesda, so yes. Let me see. Yeah, Elder Scrolls 5 and Skyrim and Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Special Edition. And how much hours did I put into Skyrim?
Special Edition.
295 hours. 0.9, so we're getting close to 300. I loved playing that game. Now, on the other hand, they're now releasing a 10-year special anniversary.
Oh, okay.
For the next generation of console. So they're pulling a GTA, and they're releasing it across 3 generations. Funnily enough, nobody's complaining about Bethesda not releasing other games. Because apart from the fact that they have released other games, right?
Yes.
They haven't released any other Elder Scrolls games, and I think the reason they're not complaining is because since we've had this one, we've had the Elder Scrolls Online, which isn't as good, and then they released Fallout 76.
The worst game of all time.
Yeah.
Possibly, or was it Anthem? No, I was going to say, was it Anthem? No, it was this one.
No, Anthem was EA.
No, I'm just talking about of all time.
Oh, of all time, sorry. No, the worst game of all time would probably be any FIFA game. So, I hate those. So, it just... I can sort of see why people wouldn't push them. But I think it was also because Bethesda do have a pretty regular release schedule. They do release other games. They released this, then they released Fallout 4. And then they announced Fallout 76. And then they released 76 and people didn't like it.
Yeah.
Whereas before we knew about GTA 6, we'd heard about GTA 5 being released twice. And then you've got GTA 5 Online, which makes them millions. So you can see why. There's also the fact that Bethesda are sticking to their sort of schedule. Every 2 or 3 years they release another game. Now, if you take 76 out of the equation, they sort of did break their schedule for 76. But they're now sort of going back to it with Elder Scrolls 6. Which will be coming out soonish, next year or 2, I think.
Yeah.
So you can see why people maybe gave them a bit of a benefit of the doubt. And there's also the fact that people liked Bethesda right up until 76. Whereas GTA was releasing like a game every 2 years and then suddenly just stopped. And said, no
more for you.
Exactly.
I'm cutting you off.
Exactly. And that's probably part of the problem. I don't think Rockstar really released a game right up until they got to Red Dead Online. Red Dead 2, which was last year, year before?
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, so that's 6-year gap for any release. So you can see there's a difference there. But they're re-releasing, they're pulling a GTA. There is a difference though.
What is that?
When they release the special editions, they normally attach all the DLC. There's no single player DLC for GTA.
Mm-hmm.
So the only real difference in GTA 5 Xbox One edition to 360 was the first person. Now, you know I adore first person. It was worth the purchase just for that. But in this case, what the other people necessarily didn't see the advantage of that. Some people didn't like it, whatever. But I thought it was a great addition. It was enough for me. Elder Scrolls normally seems to, with Skyrim, the first release had all the GTA. This release will also have all the GTA? What in the name of all the DLC? This release will also have all the DLC.
Yeah.
The pricing for this Anniversary Edition, not the Special Edition, is £48
That's a bit steep.
if you don't own it.
Okay.
So for you, it's a brand new game. If you do already own the Special Edition, you get an upgrade for £16. Now, I do think it is a bit steep.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
But it's not enormously steep.
I'd still say it was, though.
How much would you put those prices at then?
Maybe about a tenner?
For the upgrade?
Yeah.
And how much for if you don't own it?
Like 35, 40?
Well, see, it's not massive. I know, £5 or £8 is a lot to some people, but if you just look at it purely objectively, that's not a massive increase.
I suppose so.
It's not enormous. It's not like if you want to upgrade, you would say £5. Like for me, GTA, depending on what they've done with it, that either should be a tenner or maybe £20. I think they're charging like, was it 60?
I honestly can't
40,
remember.
something like that. I felt like that was a bit much. This is sort of in the same vein for me.
In the same ballpark.
It's in the same ballpark, but slightly lower. And so it's closer to where I would have put it, especially the fact that they're giving you an upgrade for £16.
Yeah.
Bethesda notes that all achievement trophy progress will carry over from the special edition to the Anniversary Edition, apart from when upgrading from PS4 to the PlayStation 5 version. So you mean achievements? Because it will only be the Xbox that does that.
That's a weird thing to isolate. Have you frozen? Oh no, I thought you had frozen. That is a weird thing to do, though, to only change it for one console and not the other.
This is interesting. That's the standalone Anniversary Edition, right?
Yeah.
But it also says Skyrim's free next-gen upgrade will be available to owners of either this current Skyrim Special Edition or the incoming Anniversary Edition.
I don't understand that, sorry.
Oh, I think I get it. I think that if you've already got it, you get a free upgrade for graphics and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But if you buy the standalone version, you get other things added too. Yes, the Creation Club content released at the time of the Anniversary Edition's launch. 500 different things, including quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons and spells. They'll all be included. So you get a free upgrade for the base level graphics and stuff like that if you've got the special edition already. So you can skip the £16. You can skip that entirely and just take the graphical update from the looks of it.
That sounds fair enough.
Yeah, and if you've already owned Skyrim Special Edition, I think they just give you the anniversary one for cheaper.
Well, that seems fair enough. I agree with that.
I think. I wouldn't like to pay $16 for my Special Edition to turn into an Anniversary Edition. I would rather have both and just be rewarded for having bought the original, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at when it's due to be released.
2023.
No, November the 11th, 2021.
Oh, it's coming out in a few days.
Yeah.
Oh.
It'll be the day after this goes up, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be tomorrow, as of anybody who hears this straight away. Or it could be today if they listen to it the next day, because sometimes it goes up a bit later on in the day.
Yeah.
In fairness, that is a pretty steady release, because the previous Elder Scrolls game was released in 2006, Oblivion, and then it was 2011 for Skyrim, and then 2016 and 2021 for the re-releases. And hopefully Elder Scrolls 6 comes along soon. There's something else about this story. I read somewhere that there might be free DLC.
You're a free DLC.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
That might not be the case. It might be that these Creation Club stuff is what's being counted as DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. Looks like you've got choices. You can just go for a free graphical update.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good. That is decent.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there anything else you wish to discuss today?
There was just one thing about that story. You know how the Skyrim can be modded. I think one of the things the special edition does is codify mods. The Creation Club was actually created as a way for Bethesda to try and monetize on the fact that people liked to mod their games. We've spoken about this before. So they started off by doing the good thing of helping people standardize mods so that everybody could enjoy them at lower risk. But obviously they realised they weren't benefiting financially, so they then created the Creation Club.
Mm-hmm.
Which has gone... That's entirely what... that sort of stuff then went out of control with Fallout 4, where they were selling loads of stuff for really stupid stuff for money. And then on the other hand, there was the 76, which is just a vehicle for the Creation Club, just making lots of money for atoms, and it's just ridiculous. But it did say that the Anniversary Edition obviously changes some of the coding, so some of the mods you have installed, if you update your game, will not necessarily work. So you need to be careful of that.
Okay. So caution.
Yeah. In fact, that might be why it's better to buy it as a standalone version.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Okay. So if anybody's out there thinking about that, please bear that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also bear in mind that if you want to help our channel, you can subscribe, you can hit the like button, the share button, you can hit the notification button for when we upload. You could leave a comment down below. That'd be fantastic. Or email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. And we hope you guys come back next week.
Yes,
so
we
thank
do.
you.
Thank you.
And goodbye.
Bye-bye.